Hey, my name is Youssef, and I am a Databricks Solution Architect. As you can see in my t-shirt, I am a big fan of Delta Lake, and that's why I decided to record many sessions to walk you through the Delta Lake features. And to do so, I'll be using the Databricks Free Edition, which is literally free edition of Databricks. No credit card required. Just go sign up using your personal email and you'll be ready to go. I am on the free edition website. For my case, I already have an account, so I will just log in. I'll select my account and then I'll be logged in inside the platform. I will select my notebook, which is Delta Lake column mapping, which is the feature I'll be highlighting for today's session. The first thing I'll do is to create my catalog called demo_Youssef and the schema called Delta. And for this example, I will create a view that simulates the fact that I'm receiving data from CSV, for example, with two columns, first name and department. And as you can see, I have a space in the name of my column, which is thing that can happen regarding the system that I'm going to use. So if I try to create a delta table called I create table customer using the data I have inside my view, let's see what would happen. I have an error popping up saying that found invalid characters in the name of the column of my schema. And this is the first thing that you need to know. This is a feature that you need to enable in case you have some special characters in the name of your columns. So now if I create the same table with this feature called column mapping, this table will work. As you can see, the table was created and it was successful. So if I query this table, you will see that I have the data ID, first name, and department. So whenever you have some special characters, you need to enable this feature. And it's very important in case you have data coming from some random CSVs or whatever sources that may be producing this kind of data. I'm going to create just a second temporary view, and I will create a delta table without column mapping. So using, let's say, the second data where I didn't have any special character. And now the next thing I want to do, for example, let's suppose I have this special character in my table. What if I want to rename this column within my table? If I want to rename first space name to a full name, you see it will run successfully. But if I try to rename a column in the table where column mapping has not been enabled, I will have an error telling me that this function is not supported. So to summarize, I use column mapping in case I have special characters, or if I want to rename a column without facing a problem. So those are the first two bonuses when it comes to using column mapping. And the same thing would happen if I want to drop a column. So basically over here, an alter table with column mapping enabled, the dropping column was successful. If I try to do the same thing with a table where column mapping is not enabled, I will have the same error. And as you can see, the message is stating, hey, you need to enable column mapping for your table. And something important to keep in mind, you can enable column mapping when you create the table at the beginning, as I did, or you can create the table and then later go and alter the table in order to add this table properties, which is delta.columnMapping.mode equal to name. And now if I go and query my data, you see my table with column mapping. I removed the full name, and the other one without column mapping, I still have the data as is. So basically, the goal of using column mapping is not only having special characters, but in case you don't have any special characters, you can rename the column and you can also drop columns safely without facing any problem. Column mapping is very important because it's the foundation of many other features that you will be using later, such as liquid clustering. See you for the next session.